Hey there, and welcome to the Second Lunch Podcast. This is the I've been drinking too much beforehand episode to know what number it is. Six?
Episode L, is that a number?
6. Yeah, we've moved on to two hands now when counting. Hot Jake got in a car accident on the way here. He's fine. His face is forever mangled, but that's probably for the best.
Screen.
If only you would have lost the fucking hair, right? Or grown a couple hat sizes. Anyhow, podcast has been going good so far. I do want to say one thing. I never thought this many people would listen to us argue about pepperoni or whatever it is we're talking about.
Yeah, we have a few hundred responses. I'm shocked.
We've got like thousands of views on some
across
stuff.
the world.
It's just, it's really surprising. And all I really care about in life is making people laugh. And, on whatever scale we get to do that.
I gotta say, I'm most surprised by the international appeal because I cannot
Brussels?
imagine a more American show. Some of these foods can't even be legal elsewhere. Again, coming back to the Culver's cheese curds, I mean, that, again, has to be outlawed in some other places.
What is Midwest?
We ask ourselves the same thing.
But yeah, thanks if you're still listening. Thanks for listening. And if you're not listening, fuck you. That was a message for nobody. But let's get rolling. We got some fun stuff to talk about. Cole's a little stressed out. We're a little late today. And
I've had dog health problems at home. There's just...
Are you referring to your health as a dog health, or are you talking about your dog's health?
I mean, I have a similar dietary complexity. Not nearly enough roughage. But yeah, just there's nothing... I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I love the pets that Ashley and I have, but Jesus Christ, are they money pits.
Oh,
and they time it remarkably. Like, Ashley got her tax return the same day. The same day that Loki's spleen had to be removed. I mean, that shit doesn't happen in July.
Not to take away from the seriousness of the situation, is there a better word in the English language than spleen?
Spleen's a good one. It's good in the sense that you know it's an organ. It's bad in the sense that what does it do? I mean, what's the function? Anything with
it doesn't do enough. Like, they'll just fuck it off completely. They'll take it out if it's fucked.
I don't trust that many words that have that many letters with only one syllable. Once you crack 5 letters, a spleen, you're pushing it.
It's interesting that spleen has what sounds like an important job. Like, it filters your blood. Do I need it?
Yeah, I mean, for the dog, is like take it or leave it. Apparently, she's good to go. She'll have to wear a cone for 2 weeks. Well, shit, could she have been born with a cone?
You're telling me the cone is more necessary than the spleen?
I mean, that's the most necessary thing I've seen so far. Apparently, she's still doing well. But yeah, there's a little residual stress, but we'll make it through.
Yeah, dog bills, man. Moose cost us like $8,000 straight out of the gate. Like, right when we got him, we were told he had his parvo shots. False. He got parvo right away.
Oh, he has parvo?
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Oh, we gave him parvo. And he went to the doggy hospital, and I was like, not going to let a dog just fucking
Did you ask
die.
him if he got his shots, and he told you, I'm immunized?
Oh, my God, my dog is Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of, we decided if Aaron Rodgers stays with the Packers, you're burning your Packers Rodgers bobblehead, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
If he leaves, the bobblehead's safe. If he stays...
It's not even political. It's the whiny press conferences. I've just had enough.
For me, it's political, but for whatever it is, whatever the reason is, we burn it.
I know. Like I said, I got my Aaron Rodgers jersey on. I'm going to go live for 4 days in a Faraday cage. My phone won't work. It'll be revolutionary.
For those of you listening to the pod who don't know us super well, we're the Packer fans you don't hate if you hate the Packers. I feel like are pretty reasonable sports fans, but I do have to say I have really been I can only say so much as an owner. But
Mark Murphy's going to take away your spot.
Yeah. I've really been reaching wit's end with the Packers late. I mean, drafting Jordan Love instead of, I don't know, somebody who might help us win a Super Bowl. It's a little bit frustrating, but the whole Devontae Adams thing, basically, if we want to really boil this down to what actually happened, we lost the best receiver in the NFL because our quarterback was too busy doing drugs to decide if he wanted to go to work.
I mean, we've all been there. If there's one area where I can empathize with Aaron Rodgers other than my family not wanting to speak to me, it's doing too many drugs to want to go to work. But I was getting paid like 13 bones an hour. I feel like I had more of a reason.
If you were Aaron Rodgers' family, would you want to talk to him?
No. I don't.
What does he have to say other than, oh, man. Immunized. Nah. Sounds like a Parisian. Baguette.
I like how we've decontextualized Parisians being pompous and annoying about who they are, and just go, you're acting like a Parisian, you know?
Or are they
just as a
acting like Aaron
catch-all.
Rodgers?
Or like a New Yorker. Yeah, ain't no sewer rat like a New York sewer rat. Okay. Is that on your family crest?
So we'll have Shane on at some point to talk about that. But
Candy bar related.
Candy bar related arguments. That's pretty much the nature of our friendship at this point. We're mostly arguing about how, well, shitty Three Musketeers is. But
it's amazing when you're a teenager how you talk about things like who you're going to marry and children and such, and then you get to your 30s and you're just like, yeah, man, Three Musketeers is a bullshit candy bar. It's a candy bar for the birds. I've got my priorities straight, and I'm ready to speak truths. I'm ready to speak truth to power. Who owns Three Musketeers? Get that CEO on the hook.
Nougat isn't good. It sounds like it would be good.
Nougat is good when it's surrounded by 5 other things, which is like...
Which means it's not good.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Like, you're not just eating sour cream by itself. There's other shit involved that sour cream's tying together. That's kind of my point. Another thing I won't fucking eat. Sour cream is bullshit. We're starting to get requests, actually, from people who have watched the first couple episodes. I'm getting a lot of requests from people like, you guys need to try this weird food thing. Are there any weird food combinations that you love that people might think are weird?
See, I've created what I consider to be the bougie version of crackers and cheese, which is me eating string cheese and a handful of pistachios. I feel like I've broken through to a new sort of dietary plane with this invention. Similar flavor profile, but with like 3 more nutrients.
You realize
can count them. You can feel them going in.
Pretty sure I've seen Uncle Dave eat exactly that.
Oh, well,
in a rush.
Well, okay. See, I have purpose. That is just a person that's just gobbling what's in front of them. It could be pepperoni sticks. Like the pepperoni sticks of his choice, I believe the first ingredient is pork hearts, which can't. I'm not saying it's
well. Then you have to
unhealthy.
Leave it to get stale in a gas station for 2-3 months.
Right. Well, yeah. It's like when you season wood for smoking. Leave the wood out for a few months to let it, capture the essence of your neighborhood. It's like that, but with Oh Boy Roberto.
Okay. So cheese, string cheese, and what nut did you say it was?
Oh, pistachios. Well, those are the ones that Costco sells easily shelled, which, by the way, who came up with that terminology? A shelled pistachio doesn't have the shell. Fuck you. All right, I don't need to do these linguistic backflips just
Why
because
is there
I'm
pistachio ice cream?
Nerds. Tom Brady. I'm now realizing I'm doing that color thing again with food where I'm like, he eats avocado ice cream. Clearly he's in the pistachio group.
Oh,
as well.
I bought it immediately. I was like, yeah, that's fact.
Checks out.
I didn't question it for a second. Did you hear the thing about Tom Brady? How people are like, oh, Tom Brady might come back and play football. And then it was like, no, he's actually going to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. Fuck off. You know how many comics I have to see get gigs instead of me because they've been on TV? This guy's got Super Bowl rings. I didn't know you could use Super Bowl rings as a fucking credit.
Yeah, but imagine the opportunity to see somebody eat shit like that. Because
no, that's the problem. He won't eat shit. I saw Steve-O. Great guy. I'm not trying to shit on Steve-O. He's a great guy. Not good at stand-up, at least when I saw him. And he did what I would have thought was not even open mic level comedy and crushed because people were there to see Steve-O.
yeah.
And
they
granted,
think with
he
all the
never had
stunts
the
he can't
opportunity
read.
to be an open micer because he's already Steve-O. Like, he can never have that opportunity to grow.
Yeah, there's no opportunity for anonymous comedy. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not like Tom Brady's going to walk up there and call himself Connor Joe, and everybody's going to be like, oh, that's not Tom Brady.
See, this is the, like, for me, that similar example is for folks that have been in Joe Rogan's orbit, like Brendan Schaub, who is a fighter. And I love fighting. A lot of the athletes I respect the most are fighters. I'll read their books. But they are not thinkers.
They can make books?
Oh, with a
I
ghostwriter.
was going to say, who's Ghost
Don't
Writer?
read into it too far.
Ghostwrite the wit.
But invariably, though, I watched some of his stand-up, and it was the worst shit I've ever seen. I mean, it's just the way, like, I want to hear you talk about fights, and perhaps you
Airplane
can do some
food.
of that comedically.
What is that all about?
I mean, see, my brain is so poisoned from people doing bits as a joke that I'm like, what's this airplane? What's the twist going to be? But, no, I mean, okay, I'll say it this way. Eat shit in terms of quality. In terms of what the yokels in the crowd say because they have a fucking family member that grew up in Enfield. Don't care about that. If I feel like he ate shit, I'll feel better.
You know what I'm also thinking is Steve-O is pretty universally liked, despite his flaws.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is not.
No.
Can you imagine the heckles that guy might get?
Well, people like Knoxville and Steve-O, you know, they have the right sort of... They have that reputation with people as, like, dudes being dudes. Like, guys being bros. Where, like, there's nothing shitty and angry and toxic about Johnny Knoxville. He's just an idiot that's about to get gored by a bull. And it's a beautiful thing. And... I think that makes those folks more universally appealing than like John Q. Jock, who comes in from, you know, playing football.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I could be misunderstanding what people find appealing about the Jackass guys, but Johnny Knoxville, he could still get it. Let's be clear.
Who do you think would be the best professional athlete stand-up comedian? I'm going to rule out Antonio Brown because it would be funny, but not in a funny way.
No, that's a...
It would be funny in a bad
That's
way.
a crisis environment. Is Shaq also banned?
Use the microphone. Hot Jake's got one. He may have brain damage, so this could be shit, but...
Shannon Sharp? No way. Oh, is your mic not working?
Jamal Williams?
Yeah, former Green Bay Packer. Green
Yeah.
Bay Packer legend
Jamal is
Jamal
pretty
Williams.
fun. He gives
That
good
is a good one.
pressers.
He is very funny. I would say Peyton Manning. I would trust Peyton Manning to do like
Yeah, we
a
talked
good
about
hour.
this. I think that both Manning brothers, especially if you're talking about giving you just like a solid 10,
Mm-hmm.
like I think that they could do it. They've both hosted SNL. I think that Shaq is another classic.
Oh yeah, Shaq would
Example.
probably be the best.
Barkley's a little too cartoonish, but if you see, Barkley is like us. If you take 12 hours down and you edit it to 5 minutes, you could get
You can get 1,500 views on Instagram.
But no, I think the Manning brothers are a tough one to top. I also like that in none of this did anybody even like get to a baseball player. Like, nope, those aren't the ones.
Yeah, has there ever been a funny baseball
Them's
player?
ain't the ones.
That's a good point.
What was his name for the Rangers that did a good Harry Carey impression? Derek.
Oh, Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt would be not the person
yeah.
you're thinking of. Stephen
Right.
Vogt would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's a good one. That is a good one.
Or does he just do a good Farley impression? Makes you think he's funny.
Well, you've won me over. I think I can actually present this next one because I'm both anxiety ridden and have the heart palpitation. Do you feel, I'm going to give you a very leading question. Do you feel like as a person that has anxiety and as a fat guy that a heart attack is always tomorrow?
Oh, a heart attack. I'm having a heart attack right now. What did you just
I'm
ask me?
dead yesterday.
There has actually been, this is embarrassing, I'm going to say it anyway. There's been 3 times I've wound up in the ER because I was sure I was dying. And I remember the last time, and hopefully the last time it ever happens, it was over COVID too. But I wound up in the ER. with chest pain and like thinking I was truly dying. And they take me back, they run all the tests, and the nurses are being really nice. And then all of a sudden, all the nurses are gone. And the doctor comes in, and he sits on the chair backwards like a really cool teacher.
Like you're about to get a life lesson.
Exactly. And that's when I knew, son of a bitch. This is not at all what I think it is. And he told me whatever drugs they gave me, which made me feel amazing. And he was just like, "Oh yeah, tell me about what's going on with you." Like talking really soft and like too creepy, like therapist-y. No offense, Laura. And that's just when I knew, like, yeah, no, the ticker's fine. Well, I mean, fine enough. It wasn't fucking off then, at least. But yeah. So yes, I guess my answer is yes. There's always a moment like if I get a chest pain for a second, I'm like, this is it. This is the big one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if I get a headache, I never get headaches ever. So every time I do get a headache, which is obviously rare, I'm having a brain aneurysm.
Oh,
now.
for sure. I mean, every time I feel an ache in my calf, I'm like, well, this is deep vein thrombosis. Clearly, I'm on the way out. I've read about these blood clots and like convinced myself that I've got diseases that only people over the age of 70 can get. Well, fuck, they say, there's a chance I got it.
Oh, over 70. That's like me with gout, dude. I got gout at 16.
Yeah, you were ahead
Early
of the curve
starter.
on that one.
Speaking of like shit people my age shouldn't be dealing with, I went today to like a sleep place. I think I have sleep apnea, which is like total fat guy thing to have, or old fat guy thing to have. Anyway, I think I have it.
Fat's the part of the Venn diagram.
Yeah, and it was kind of nice going in there, not because like I went in there not really. I guess I hadn't thought about what the waiting room would look like, but when I got in there, I was like by far the best looking person and the skinniest. I had not thought about that at all. And there's people in there just like struggling to breathe wearing a mask. So you have to wear a mask at the hospital and stuff. And that was one thing I hadn't thought about until I was walking in. And I was like, I shouldn't have worn a sweatshirt today, because if I put on a mask, my body automatically thinks that I'm working out. It's like, oh, you're not getting 100% oxygen? You must be exercising.
Yeah, clearly you're at altitude. Are you
start
in Denver?
Sweating right away. And this is what I was talking about on, I don't remember what episode it was, about being like the big fucking sweaty guy and we were playing basketball. I'm sweating all the time. It's like always 90% humidity up in this bitch. I've always got a sweat going.
I'm living in Miami at all times.
For real. And yeah, I don't know if it's because I've got body hair or where it comes. I'm sure the body hair doesn't help. Leads me to my next question. You shave your dick, or?
I mean, when I've got the chutzpah, when I've got the motivation.
So do you? No, I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, do you shave your crotch region, or do you trim it?
Oh, trim. No, I don't have the most dexterous hands.
I like that it comes down to dexterity.
Oh, absolutely. This is something we're going to talk about later, or maybe let's just talk about it now. I think I had a Tinderella question. What's one thing you could practice your whole life and never get good at? Watchmaking? I can't deal with that sort of fine gear manipulation. There's no fucking chance.
I'm with you.
Me in a game of Operation, throw me out the fucking window. I'd rather be dead than expose myself to these indignities of not being able to get the goddamn wishbone out. I just don't want to deal with that. So... yeah, what was the original question? Now I'm just thinking about Operation.
Oh, I started talking about sleep apnea or something. But
you backtracked even further than I was going.
We've come a long way. Yeah, I don't know that I would have gone straight for watchmaking. I think I would have gone with something a little bit more practical, or something that I've already failed 3 times, like learning guitar. It's just when you got sausages for fingers, there's just... What do you mean? What do you mean it's something other than a chord? You want me to pick an actual
Show
string
me all
here?
the Stevie Ray Vaughan videos you want, but where's the one where the guitarist has sausage fingers? All right,
I thought I'm just jerking off the guitar here. I'm not. When I get in uncomfortable situations, I start making jokes. That's just what I do. And I'm in a doctor's office, and I don't like to tell people I do comedy because as soon as you tell people you're a comedian, they fucking lose it. They don't know how to hold it together. They're just like, oh, here's something for you. You should put this in your skits. Yeah. And they tell me
Have
some
you ever
fucking
heard
thing they
the
read
worst idea?
Yeah. They tell me something they read in a chain email in like 2006. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you want this Lewinsky joke?
No, it's not even that
really.
highbrow. So I try not to tell people. I never tell people that. So today in my appointment, I was killing, absolutely killing. The doctor, oh my gosh, she comes in and she's like, so what made you schedule this appointment today? As if it's like, I can't breathe when I'm sleeping. Like, it's the most obvious answer ever. And I was just like, I just had a daughter and I realized I had more reasons to not die in my sleep. And she was like so taken aback by that answer. Anyway,
that just sounds earnest.
yeah, it was a really dark, a lot of dark jokes. The appointment was actually great. She's like, yeah, you probably have that, but we can sort it out. I can't tell you how many
Probably have
jokes.
at least 6 months to live.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many jokes I made about dying. Speaking of Jake's hair, no transition at all.
Yeah, it'll be a clean one.
We can jazz that up. Or what is that? Anyway.
As I get yanked off stage with a hook on a cane. Wonderful.
I was thinking about balding today, and I mean, I am balding. Like, it's been happening. And like I've been balding since I was 18, and it's like, we're coming on 13 years now. It still hasn't decided what the fuck it's going to do yet. The top of my head looks like a T-Mobile coverage map. It's fucked up. Like, you're doing great getting all the calls on the coasts, dropping a lot of calls in the Midwest here.
Yeah. Turns out Wyoming isn't part of the plan.
Yeah. So it's just fucked. And I was thinking, like, at some point, I'm just going to have to go bald. Like, at some point, I got to give up. But I really don't want to because the sides look pretty good. It's pretty, I mean, I wouldn't call it thick, but it's not.
Yeah, put this man on a quarter.
Peppery. Yeah, put me on a fucking quarter, dude.
We'll let the podcast take off.
But
first.
it's not, I don't know, like the sides aren't worth fucking the whole thing off entirely, right? But the top it's getting bad. Like, I keep thinking, like, okay, well, if I keep it short, maybe it won't look like, maybe it'll all, because it's short, it'll look more uniform than just really thin on top.
I sense the logic, yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, that didn't fucking work. So what if I kind of grow it out long, and then, so either way, I'm fucked here, I guess, is what I'm getting at, is it always looks like shit. So I keep thinking, like, at some point here, I'm going to have to shave the whole thing bald.
Yeah.
And
you're going to have to make that Michael Jordan commitment.
It's kind of, yeah, or the thing LeBron's still avoiding. And it's nice because I have a brother that's 2 years older than me. And so it's kind of like watching the Ghost to Hairline future. Like, I know, I'm like, okay, I got at least 2 years before it's that bad. And, but no, he's just rocking it. He's like, he's like, yeah, good fuck. I'm good.
I mean, I appreciate that sort of punk rock attitude.
I can't. I know I act.
There's going to be a day where I stroll into the podcast and Chris is just fully committed.
Yeah. Oh, I've been meaning to tell you, actually, fuck you and your hair.
Oh, well, this is like a testosterone thing. See, you getting into pornography when you were like 7. See, I'm like the opposite.
You're saying I could have a full head of hair if I didn't have to jack off 3 times a day?
Yeah, I mean, if that's your minimum, if that's like your over-under is like...
My minimum is 1, but 3 I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you... I'm glad you found your sort of Wade Boggs stride where you're like exactly what level of superstition you have with how many times you got to crank it.
It's horrible because it's an odd number, too.
Prime.
Oh, no, and it's prime,
Yeah,
so Cole gets his way.
At it. But no, I'm convinced I'll keep my hair just because of my lack of testosterone, basically. I'll keep it rolling.
It's so annoying.
I'm sorry to annoy you like that. All right, Chris, we've got a few more here. and I'm just going to crassly lead into
Let's
them.
do it.
Picking up poop from a dog's perspective.
Okay. I took Moose out the other day, and I was waiting for him to take a shit, and I was like, I angrily had the bag in my hand, and I don't know what it was about, like, just standing there with a bag in my hand, but it made me think, it's got to be weird for a dog to watch you pick up their shit with a bag. Because we just shit and, like, flush it. Like, we don't even fucking worry about it. But they must think they're, like, shitting fucking gold that we're like, oh, shit, I got to pick this up.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. They definitely feel like they're the ruler in the relationship, but
they don't act like it. Cats do.
I've got an 11-year-old dog that's been watching me do this forever, and still every time she shits, she's ready to just yank my arm off, ready on to the next thing. Like, how many times have we gone through this procedure? You know I've got to follow you up on this.
It's kind of funny that they still want to hang out with us. Like, we do something like that, like, oh, you shit, I got to pick it up. And they still want to hang out with us.
Well, I'm glad they don't have the same sort of social faux pas. They don't have the same sort of concern about pecking order. But, shit, I don't have anything.
Or maybe they totally get it. They're sniffing butts all the time. They're like, yeah, that was a good one.
This is their version. Get a little bit acquainted.
There's no way to look cool while your dog's shitting.
No, but in fairness, also, your dog can't look cool while your dog's shitting. So you're both in the same boat. You're both... Your dog's looking a little spooked. You know, you're looking a little
You got an eye on this, or you watching my back, bro?
Have you ever been stopped at a DUI checkpoint?
I have not, but I remember when I was younger, we were in Wisconsin. I don't know. It was probably in 5th grade or something. It doesn't matter. But we would always, every summer we would go to Wisconsin, and it would be me, my mom, my 2 siblings, and we would always meet up with my Uncle Dave and his 3 million kids. He only has like 4 or something. Can't even count them now, but it's 100 in my head. Anyhow, we would all go do something, like go to the Wisconsin Dells, head up north, you know, whatever it is. And I remember one summer we got to a DUI checkpoint, and this is in Wisconsin, and I know it was in Wisconsin because it was at 3 p.m. on a weekday, and nobody batted a fucking eye. They're like, yep, that adds up.
Sometimes you got to set up a checkpoint at 3 on a Tuesday.
It is July.
It's a school zone.
Yeah, and so I'm in the car with my Uncle Dave behind my mom and my siblings, and my mom stops to talk to the cop, and my Uncle Dave decides it's a good time to touch his bumper to my mom's and then accelerate. So my mom's car kind of lurched forward, which really pissed off the cop. But Uncle Dave was over the moon with the results.
Yeah. That's as funny as littering to him. It's a fucking hoot.
Oh, I don't even know if he thinks littering is as funny as I think him littering is funny.
Oh, the amount of times you've surely laughed at it, there's guaranteed he's in on the bit.
Oh my God, or him farting after Mexican food. It's the dumbest bit. Like, he'll ask himself, like, set up questions just to... The punchline is him lifting his ass cheek and...
I'm glad he's got that sort of rectal control, because...
You wouldn't expect it from somebody with that much Mountain Dew and pepperoni consumption.
Oh, no, that guy's shitting paint. I mean, that is a problem. Sphincter right there. No, I myself, I've never been pulled over at a DUI checkpoint. I learned from my dad that actually one way that you can evade a DUI checkpoint, depending on your atmosphere, is if you live in the woods. Basically, in Fairbanks, Alaska, we rented an apartment that was about 2 miles away from the bar, and conveniently, I mean, there were real roads, of course, leading from the apartment to the bar, but who needs those when you can cut down 2 miles of branches between your house and the bar in order to do some off-road drunk driving?
Mike did not do this.
Oh, 100% he did, with his friend Wayne.
2 miles.
Oh, 2 miles, well over half a mile. This is drunk brain talking.
Still, even a mile of trees.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these people are drunk and motivated, and they're bored in Alaska. What else are you going to do with that sort of physical,
Fair. There's so much sunlight, too.
That's... So, yeah, I would know he was coming home because he would do this thing called kaboomers, which was his own version of domestic terrorism, which is with an old Ford truck, if you turn off the vehicle while it's running, gas will start to back up into the muffler. And when you restart the ignition, it'll blow up out of the back. It's a great way to scare a cyclist or a pedestrian.
He should have done that one time he pulled a U-turn.
Well, imagine. I know, right? Let the guy know. But imagine cutting down like 2 miles of the woods to keep people from knowing you're drunk driving, and then you do kaboomers, where you basically set off explosions on the drive home. The man is truly a paradox. But that was his way of evading DUI checkpoints. And again, he's only had one DUI in his life.
Through the woods. Get a four-wheeler. You didn't have to. You didn't still need to take your truck.
Get a four-wheeler? Those things are dangerous.
So is cutting down a bear's habitat. Jesus Christ. This man is not concerned.
Talk to the bear about it.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like if we put Mike and a grizzly bear in space.
Are we doing one of our space
yeah,
fights?
who would win?
Are we doing a space fight?
So, Cole, do you think cannonballs are real or no?
No.
I think they're fake news. I don't think they ever happened.
No, I think that it's one of those things. It's like when a pirate puts his knife into the sail and glides down. That's not a thing. That was made up by the movies.
I would cut the rope.
Right.
Cut the rope.
I know how the movies work.
Yeah, are you trying to tell me this sword is sharp or not? Because if it's sharp, it's cutting the fucking
And I
rope.
learned on Mythbusters, there's no middle ground. Either the knife is so sharp it's going right through the sail, or you're fucking stuck at the top like a dipshit. There's no other way. But no, a cannonball, I mean, clearly that's the type of invention that's from a time when better inventions didn't exist. They're like the Necco wafers of violence.
I'm not even convinced cannons are real.
Well, I mean, again, if what you're putting in there is something explosive, it's one thing. But if you're throwing in a gigantic rock and propelling it...
You're telling me it can fire a giant rock through people, but then you can also put people in it and fire them?
Well...
And they're fine?
Well, who's in front of the people cannon?
How do the circus cannons work, Cole? That's all I'm really trying to get to here.
I like this idea that we are trying to understand how something works when I don't know long division, where it's like, well, how does a cannon work? Well, clearly you don't understand how most things work.
It's just a kaboomer.
How does yeah? Turns out Mike Finchon had that figured out.
Oh, what if your dad invented cannonballs? What if your dad invented if your dad invented cannonballs? What do you think?
Honestly, if my dad invented anything that made him money, I'd be really alarmed about the aftermath. You see these inventors that they make a little bit of money, they go off the deep end. I mean, I suppose he's more of a traditionalist in the sense that he's just cocaine and whores. I mean, a real strict constitutionalist in that regard. But yeah, I would just be really worried that if he ever was successful, it would kill him. I think the struggle is what keeps him alive.
I don't think the man can be killed.
No, he's one of those people that lives. He's either going to die before he's 60 or he's going to live until he's 120.
Anybody who camels up can't die. Isn't there water poisoning? Can't you drink too much water?
Oh, for sure. That implies that the man's ever had too much water. That guy hasn't had too much water since like 1978.
Well, too much water in one go.
Oh, yeah, but his body is in such a constant state of dehydration. It's like when a monsoon
He's always
hits
making
the
up.
Sahara. Yeah, it's exactly. He's basically putting a very small dent into a very large problem. But shit, what else was I going to say about this is a guy that is so dry he would tape plastic bags around his feet with lotion in them.
What?
Well, when you don't drink water and you're a consummate alcoholic, sometimes you gotta, camel up the feet. You know what I'm saying?
His feet got that dry?
I mean, they either got that dry or he was putting on a hell of a show.
Dude, stop. Yeah, can you imagine he's in Vegas. His show is putting a bunch of lotion in a bag.
The thing is, that man's life...
Stop wearing flip-flops.
The man's life in Aberdeen would be Vegas, so the idea of him in Vegas makes me very alarmed.
Aberdeen has to be the worst place on the fucking planet.
Certainly the grayest.
Every time I go there, I'm like, yeah, I see why Kurt did it. We're going to have to cut.
Yeah, we are going to have to. We're going to have to cut that because you don't even believe that. Now I see why Courtney did it.
Oh, we're leaving it now. Now I see. He admitted it. Yeah, I have video evidence.
He fucked himself. All right, we're going on to a recurring segment here. Gucci or greasy?
Gucci or greasy, Cole? Peeing in the shower.
Gucci, necessary, a requirement.
Bro, I'm so with you. Katie and I have gotten into this a couple times. She absolutely thinks it's greasy. Of all the things, this is Lay's and ketchup, girl, okay? You're going to judge me, Everett. Let's get real here.
I mean, with that sort of dietary intake, you're lucky I'm not shitting in the shower. Right? You're lucky.
Here's the thing. It's natural. It feels good. And you're saving money on water. Frankly, it's good for the environment. You don't have
what
to
did
flush
George
the toilet.
Costanza say? They're all pipes. Yeah, baby. That's all they are. Diana Rossini was on the Dan Le Batard show, and she said she pees in the shower every time. Well, if it's good enough for Diana, it's good enough for me.
I don't know why you wouldn't. Katie's like, well, I take a bath in there. I'm like, okay, every time we've ever taken a shower together, I've peed on you, so...
I also like the...
So samesies.
I also like the idea of somebody being like, I bathe in there, and being like, oh, you sit in your own fucking dirty water, and like, I'm supposed to respect that shit? Like, okay. Bathing is a form of cleaning oneself from a different century. It is just... That was a cool way to get things done when you had serfs and peasants.
They hadn't thought about the water falling on them yet.
No, there was... the only sort of waterfall was a natural one because we ain't got no plumbing. So filling up a tub with some hot water was the best shit you got.
Oh, dude, I'm so glad you said that. I think baths are so gross.
Last time I got in the bath, I felt really compelled to do so because I was in the middle of diabetic ketoacidosis, which gives you an idea of when you should take a bath.
Or
once a
go
decade.
to the doctor.
Both.
If you ever feel like you need to take a bath, go to the doctor.
For me, that's pretty sound advice.
Last time I took a bath, I can actually remember. I was in like third grade, I think, and we went on the summer trip to some place in northern Idaho. It was before my parents bought a house there. And we rented this place that was fucking gross. Like, we went in there, and it just smelled like an old person's house, like, times 4. And my mom was like, I don't think we can stay
so
here.
It's like Willy Wonka and the chocolate. It's 4 old people in the house. I get it.
And so I was so grossed out myself. I was like, I'm not sitting in that bathtub. And that's the first time I ever took a shower, was because I was too grossed out by the bathtub. I was like, I'm only putting my feet in that.
That's like the hygiene version of your dad throwing you into the pool because you can't swim yet. I learned how to shower because I was too scared to bathe.
Oh, so yeah, I guess peeing in the shower is good. Clearly good. Everybody should be doing it. If peeing in the shower is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
It's environmentally sound.
What else do you need?
I don't need to be flushing my turlet every time I drink too many Rainiers.
Exactly. Oh, man, I haven't had a shower, beer, pee yet. That'd be a long shower, but that would probably be pretty worth it.
Oh, just have like 1 or 2 beforehand. Prime the pumps. Get in the shower with your third beer.
I was thinking, you and I haven't taken a shower together yet.
Well, I'll give it time. When the podcast takes off.
Yeah, I don't know. The amount of things Shane and I have done together for people that aren't related or in a committed relationship is probably alarming to the average person. I'm going to save those stories for when he comes on here, but yeah, there's plenty of stuff.
I was going to say docking deserves its own episode.
Docking! Oh, this is how they're going to find out that I'm uncircumcised? This is it? This is the episode?
All right, let's jump into the Tinderella questions here. Chris, I'm going to hit you with the first one. Have you ever honked at an old person or student driver, and do you regret it?
100% did it today to both, probably. Frankly, if you're going to be on the road, go at least the speed limit. Go at least the speed limit. I don't care who you are. If you're going under the speed limit, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Honestly, I think the rule of thumb should be if the speed limit is 30 miles an hour or over, you're supposed to be going 10 miles over that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ashley and I have a running list of the streets in Seattle that have the most cartoonish speed limits suggested. So like Aurora, 40. Are you insane? I'm driving 65.
Yeah, I
through
should
the
be
tunnel.
doing twice this.
40 in the tunnel. Out of your fucking mind.
That's a Princess Diana speed limit.
It's and the paparazzi aren't chasing me, so fuck it. I am driving 130 in this tunnel. But shit, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I gotta reacquaint myself.
I think you were talking about butt sex.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Honking at student drivers. Yeah. So in recent years, I have seen an uptick in people that have student driver stickers on a car that's not a student driver. And I think they think that's going to make me not honk at them. What it's really done is just means I honk at a lot more student drivers now. Because now I don't believe there are any student drivers. I think all of it's a ruse. You're telling me there's like young children learning to drive. I just don't buy it. I think it's all bullshit.
That's so funny. That makes me think of Katie and I had to have this discussion recently, not to completely change gears here, but I wanted to get a baby on board sticker for our car.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, they're so stupid. And I was like, what are you talking about? They were invented to alert first responders to you having a kid in the car if you get in an accident, because they can't always see them. That's what they're for. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. I was
yeah, for me it's a way to tell the person already crashing into you that, hey, I got a baby, don't do that. And it's like, oh shit, I was gonna not crash.
Yeah, I was like, what did you think it was for? She's like, I don't know, to like brag about having kids. I was like, so you thought it was more likely that there was a whole group of people like trying to give barren mothers the fucking finger, like, I got a fucking kid,
for sure, dude. I mean, what are those little stick figure decals for, dude? That's just so I know how many I have to scrape off if I T-bone the shit out of you. Turns out the little ones are the easiest.
So
to
the
scrape.
stick figures are definitely more sinister than the baby on board.
Oh, for sure. But I'm just saying, from me as a person with no children, I'm just like, all right, how many am I kicking off?
Oh.
I don't know if we're good.
I never thought I'd get to do the baby on board thing. That came out of nowhere. I thought of it today.
I didn't know I'd get to do the scratching off the decal. Little kid on
Yeah,
it.
well, I like this Cole. We'll see if regular Cole's going to want to keep that. But
yeah, we'll see about context. All right, Chris. Are you a morning or night person?
I am not a morning person. It takes me at least an hour to like truly get going in the morning. And I don't know what it is. No matter what, at midnight, I'm like, boom, I'm just fucking wide awake and like, let's do everything. So yeah, definitely not a morning person. Certainly a night person. What about you?
Oh, I'm the complete opposite. I'm up before 6 most days, and then I'm in bed, not necessarily sleeping, but I'm like in bed between 8 and 9, sometimes earlier than that. Yeah.
If I'm in bed at 8 or 9, it's because I have to be at the airport.
They're reading you the last rites.
Yeah, or I'm being punished. Yeah, exactly. I'm on my deathbed. That's horrific.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't used to be this way. I've now been sort of conditioned to be like I'm never awake after 10 p.m. unless something terrible has happened.
So how early is too early for a meeting for you then?
Really nothing, but for me, if you schedule something before 7 a.m., that's fucked up. And I have enough meetings with people in different time zones where it's like, how this works. Like, this is like an old, like, turn off your cell phone in the fucking movie theater. Okay, the first year there was a time zone, I'd understand you don't get it. It's been a fucking century. You should know when you schedule from New York that when you put it at 9 o'clock, it is 6 a.m. here. But yeah, that is not necessarily particularly funny. But I will say this, the other end is like, if you schedule a meeting for 2 o'clock or later, I'm going to hate you for a week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a pretty small sweet spot of, hey, these are the morning hours that I fuck off in, and hey, these are the afternoon hours that I fuck off in.
Right.
You've basically, turn into Tyson there for a second. You basically have a window of, like, to me, 8 a.m. is the earliest a meeting should ever happen. And then the latest is like 1 p.m. It better fucking be over by 2, because I got some fucking off to do before I clock off.
Look, if I'm going to do 4 hours of work today, I need 2-hour buffer on both sides. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we're down to 2. All right, Chris, which cartoon character would you say you most resemble?
Peter Griffin. Fat, dumb. I don't even think I'm dumb, but I love to be dumb. Like, I really like making really dumb jokes. I was thinking about one earlier today when we were in Green Bay and the Kansas City Chiefs lost to fucking, I don't even remember who. And I said, more like Kansas shitty. It's just so
Brilliant.
stupid.
No notes.
Just so stupid.
No tags.
So anyway, yeah, I love that. And Peter is obviously just saying the dumbest shit all the time. So yeah, I feel like my voice is a little less annoying, but
For me, I think I'm Eeyore. I think on this show I put on a good ruse, a good facade of being more fun-loving, but most of the time I'm just somewhere between disgusted and outraged.
Are we
and
doing
I think
the
that
sad
it's-
segments?
No, I'm not sad about this at all. I'm down with this.
Oh,
But but no, I think Eeyore's my dude. I mean, because we also specified cartoon character. If it was a real life person, it would be Stanley from The Office.
Yeah, I
So,
agree with that.
That would be
He
the
is
actual.
full Grum for sure.
Yeah, he's absolutely figured it out. All right.
Last question. We'll wrap her up. I can't believe we actually have an hour of shit.
Somehow we do.
Hot damn.
Are you a road rager?
Am I a road rager? If you ask me, I would say no. If you ask my wife, she would say most certainly. I don't have much patience. Doing comedy, there's been times where it's like I've had to drive, I don't remember how long it was to Winnemucca, but I remember driving like 30 hours in the course of 36 hours. And, like, you have to drive long distances. So when somebody's camped in the fucking left lane doing 70 when the speed limit's 70, it's fucking annoying. Get over. Get the fuck over.
Yeah.
Stay right, accept a pass, you son of a bitch. Yes, it drives me nuts. That shit drives me fucking crazy. Like, get the fuck out of my way. I'm trying to go 80 here. What are you, the police? Get
Yeah.
out of my fucking way.
I've been in the car with people before where they're driving like 80 in the left lane on a 65 and somebody's on their ass. They're like, I'm driving over the speed limit. It don't fucking matter.
Yeah, let them get pulled over.
Yeah, that's their thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's way too fast. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what we
Let them figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, 10 miles an hour over that's the rule. Oh my God, Katie and I get in an argument about this all the time too. I have decided that includes carpool lanes where there's carpool lanes.
Oh, that the carpool lane is functionally the left lane is what you're saying.
It's the fast lane.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no other reason to be in there. That or you're
Yeah, if you're
bragging
gonna
about
hang out-
maybe is this another thing like the baby
Oh,
on
I'm
board
jacking
thing?
off because I've got a baby in the car.
Yeah, it's like a baby on board thing. You're just bragging like, I get to carpool. I have a whole family. I don't have to go
Quit throwing
fast.
that shit in my fucking face. My wife is infertile.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 72 and a 70 because I have 3 kids.
Yeah, no, I'm completely on your side on this. I think that the greatest sort of driving faux pas you can commit is being passed on the right side.
Oh.
When you get passed on the right side,
every time I do that, I'm like,
go to confessional, do your Hail Marys. You got some splaining to do.
Every time I pass somebody on the right, I'm like, you made me do this. You know.
Oh,
like,
every time I pass somebody on the right, I deliberately get over in front of them a little closer than I would normally be comfortable. The moment I'm like 6 inches clear of the bumper as I'm passing on the right, I'm going to get right over to let you know.
Oh, I do this thing. This is the most road ragey thing I do. It's a little aggressive. But whenever I do have to go around somebody like that, I always, in the rearview mirror, like point, like, get the fuck over.
Oh, see, similarly, I put my hand up and I immediately jack off symbol, which is not clear in terms of what you mean, but I think it means a lot in terms of energy.
That's way better. What sound do you make when you make jack off motions?
I've never made a sound.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine is, it's always, I don't know why it's a fart sound. What sound do you think coming
How
actually,
big is your cock, Chris?
that you can
That
hear
it has butt cheeks to ripple the sound of ejaculation.
What? I mean, I know on a microscopic level, coming has to make a sound. In my head, I don't know why I've decided it's the guitar solo from More Than a Feeling by Boston.
It's Van Halen's Eruption. Fair.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm the only one with a sound for coming. That's
It's
weird.
the only one out of two of us. Wow, shit. Really got left out in the cold
Well,
here,
I didn't
boys.
see Jake trying to answer, so
It's,
I think,
that's okay.
no, he's got no sound. He's got
It's
no
getting
sound.
late, and it's been a long day.
It's been weird. I don't know if we're even going to put this one out, but
I think this went pretty well.
let's wrap it up. Hot Jake's got to get home to his no car. Fucking loser. Anyway, this got weird. This got weird. just fuck. Oh, bastard! I'll repeat for all those people
Destroyed you.
who couldn't hear. He's got all this hair to attend to, and
That was pretty good.
that's a good point. I guess we're gonna have to find somebody else to do the pod from now on. But thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting us. I don't know what else to say other than you should buy our koozies. $4.99. They're actually $5. I lied, but Cole doesn't have a koozie today because he's
because bucks and six.
and anyway, this podcast got out of hand. But love
did a
you
good job.
guys, and bucks and six.
Bucks and six.